live in just a second.
So we all here or no? Who's not here?
We're missing a few people tonight.
Yeah.
Judy won't be here.
Right.
And
Robin
okay.
cannot.
Robin won't be here either.
Right. So they're excused absences. Okay, we're live on YouTube.
Yes,
so
ready to go.
Meeting to order. And you want to go through the roll call?
Commissioner Scher?
Here.
Commissioner Cook?
Here.
Commissioner Resnick?
Here.
Vice Chair McDonald?
Here.
Chair Caption?
Here.
And we'll let the record reflect that Commissioners McKee, Cant, and Meredith are excused this evening.
Great. Okay, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. American flag. I have some surprises up my sleeve. Okay, I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
United States of America
and to the
republic for which it stands,
one
nation,
under God,
indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
Okay. Next, shall we adopt the agenda?
I move to adopt.
I second. Can I second by voice?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So a roll call vote. Commissioner Scher?
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Vice Chair McDonald?
Yes.
Chair Caption?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next is approval of the minutes from our last meeting, November 1st. They seem to be okay.
I didn't see any changes. If nobody else did, then I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the November 1st meeting as presented.
I second it.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so roll call on that as well.
Commissioner Scher?
Aye.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick?
Yes.
Vice Chair McDonald?
Yes.
And Chair Caption?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have public comment. Do we have any public comment?
We do not.
Okay, that's it. So now, Sam, can you turn the thing over to me, the share the screen thing over to me?
Yeah, it's over.
Oh, I
over.
can. Oh,
Yep.
Look at this. Yay. Okay. Art Fund report. Sam.
Oh, that's cool. Who did that?
I did that.
Getting fancy.
Yep.
So included in your packet was the outline of, I'll start with the Town of Yountville Community Foundation this time. You saw I'm going to share it really quick. Can everybody see that? No?
Yes.
Okay, so the transfer was made for the carryover balance from fiscal year 2021 as of the October report, but that was late. So you're seeing this one, which is as of November. And we bringing our beginning fund balance to just over $56,000 for this year, with the expense for Raven and Polly and the mural update. We just have just over $27,000 still in the Town of Yountville Community Foundation.
Great.
I'll stop sharing that. Are there any questions on the Town of Yountville Community Foundation Fund? Next up is the general fund and then the art fee fund. And so I'll share those really quickly. So currently we're right on track. Most of our revenue comes in around art, sip, and stroll here. This is our regular general fund account. And so we have some revenue for art sales down here that has come in, and also the expense for paying out that art. So we've sold a sculpture as well, or 2 sculptures, I believe, as well as some art in the gallery as well. So you'll see that in and out there. And then the public art fee fund, the restricted fund, shows our beginning balance of just over 58,000 at the beginning of the fiscal year. We've had minimal revenue. And then we have some expenses that have been paid out for art stipends. And I anticipate that I need to take a look at it. We have some minor projects pending, but nothing major in the queue right now. So we were kind of planning for there to be a little bit of a slowdown in commercial building permits, which we are seeing. But obviously with the purchase of the estate property, the state Yountville property, we could see, a pickup in that. So we'll have to see. Any questions on the budget?
Sam, is there a target date for when that sale will be completed?
I don't know. I don't have as much information. I think it sounded like it was a cash transaction, so that should be fairly quick, I would assume.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
What sale are you talking, could you?
So the state Yountville property, so the Bellagio Vintage Estates and the B Marketplace property, that's all been used. It was in the paper. I think it was sold.
Right. Okay.
So with that, we could see, renovations and things. I think they've been holding off on the B Marketplace space for quite some time. So we could see some commercial building there, but it might be a little slow for a year or so, which we'd already talked about.
So there might be a tenants there eventually?
That would be great, wouldn't it?
I hope
Yeah.
so. Excellent. Okay. Any questions or comments about that?
Oh, Samantha, I know Kirsty's been busy. Have you met with her about making sure the 1% is applied to everything possible?
I haven't yet. I haven't been able to set up a meeting with her in person yet, but it's on our list of things to do. So yeah. Cool. But I know most of those permits come in through the front office anyways. That's their first check in. So they're very well versed on that. So
okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's move on to our next thing, which is, marketing.
Whoa, let me take that in for
Wow.
a second. Oh, God, I'm loving this.
Here, I can make it bigger. Look at
Please,
that.
because I'm looking at this on my phone.
Oh,
that's
right.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, well, I took a drone view when you guys had your marketing meeting.
This is fabulous. I've sent a report to Robin and to Judy, so they know everything that we're going to be talking about today, or mostly just reporting and catching up on. Everyone other than you, Sam, for a very good reason. We're at Yountville Dreaming on the 1st of November, and it was really fabulous. It was so much fun. We had a great turnout. They said the best of all the towns, and we were really supported. I don't have to go through it all again since we were all there, but Rhonda and Michael picked up our heart. It left the visitor center and is back here in Yountville, but should they ever want anything else, I know we'd be happy to take it to them. We've sent all the Shop the Yountville Art Walk PR info to Napa Valley Life, and I had asked for a spot in the December issue with a photo and a paragraph at the front of the magazine. We'll see if that happens. It's never guaranteed, but she was very intrigued with it and said she was going to try to do that. Let's see. Oh, this is really exciting. Judy had mentioned in one of our past meetings that LG Experience and Design Center has a showroom, and they show videos. And I submitted our art walk video and also Holidays in Yountville with all our lights because it's so festive this time of year. And they're going to be playing that in the Design Center. So we're very excited about that. We had a real nice email blast on 11/29 in the chamber email, where our Shop the Yountville Art Walk was right at the top of the email. And another thing that was really exciting is we've had our first media fam tour, which is a familiarity tour where media and writers and or broadcasters come to town for a tour of Yountville, and the art walk was on the agenda. So as one of their outings for the day, in addition to tasting and dining, and Rhonda and I gave a tour to three people from media. We had one young lady who was from Oat Living, which does a lot of beautiful articles and is very Napa Valley centric. And also we had a woman who was from KRON, and she does travel spots. Oh. And we also had another young woman who was, she was from Napa Sonoma Magazine and other publications. She was a freelancer. And we spent a good hour and a half with them telling stories and sharing pieces of art. And it really went over so well. The next day we heard back from them telling us how much they enjoyed it, and particularly hearing all the stories that we shared about the art, in addition to, thank you, Rhonda, all the details about the art. So that was really terrific. And we look forward to the next trip when they bring more press. It's really a wonderful thing now that Fuller and Sandra is engaged with us. We also, actually, we do not yet have our Christmas tree from Boys and Girls Club. I'm not sure what happened. They were supposed to pass it off the night of the town and tree lighting, but it didn't quite happen. And I'm picking it up tonight from the event we're at, where Boys and Girls Club is being represented with a toy drive and the tree. So I will take the tree and I will bring it over to the community center with all the collateral material at some point when I can do that this week, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. Rhonda, thank you once again. Rhonda's always sending out updates for the art walk, and I'm always encouraging anybody to please jump in wherever they might like, just to let's all keep informed what everybody's doing so we don't step on each other's toes. But Rhonda sent out art walk updates to the Yountville Sun, and I believe to the Youngvillian and other places. And we had a beautiful placement in the Sun this week. I'm sure you saw it, of the new yellow sphere that's coming. So that was lovely to see that. And I think that's pretty much it for now. That's what we've got going on. I wanted to ask you, Sam, and I don't want to create additional work. Should we just work with the artwork from the gallery show, the youth gallery show, so we can have the chamber put it in a newsletter? Or
Rhonda, I'm sorry, Rhonda, not Rhonda. Danielle is just back from vacation. I didn't have access to that original flyer.
Oh, that's okay.
So I asked her to go ahead and please update that, so we should be able to push it out to you tomorrow.
Oh, that'd be wonderful, because that is so beautiful. And I just wanted to ask about one other quick thing. I noticed when we're part of the gift, the Boys and Girls Club event, they put us on a map. And what comes up is the community center. And it doesn't have to be right now, but we're hoping at some point. I would have done it, Sam, but I feel it's probably more of an imposition for you to keep getting texts from me saying, here's the QR or here's the code, because you can't get into the Google Drive without the proper, I guess, credentials, or I'm pretty sure you manage it.
Oh, you want me, when you asked me to make sure the gallery comes up on Google Maps?
Yeah, in addition to the community center, for the future, when people are coming to the gallery and looking for it on their iPhones or whatever devices they have, it'll show specifically where the gallery is. So that would be great. And I think those two things will keep us moving into next month. And that's it from marketing.
Wow.
Great job.
Great. That's fantastic.
So before Noelle leaves, do we want to jump into Art Sip and Stroll vis-a-vis the gallery portion of it?
Yep, I'm not leaving so fast. I really do like to take part in these meetings. I'm pushing it as far as I can.
Okay. Well, Art Sip and Stroll is up next. So so we can go ahead and move on to that. And I will show you what I have for Art Sip and Stroll.
Oh,
Rhonda,
Oh.
that's a familiar graphic. Okay. So,
Cindy,
What's
are you
up?
gonna have your other foots operated on so we keep more, we keep getting more out?
am I going to do what?
Are you going to have another surgery soon so that we keep getting all these improvements to our stuff?
This is what happens when I'm immobilized and can't run around.
So, our Sip and Stroll has taken another turn in terms of our efforts. Last month, we announced that we were going to use the art walk as the focus, which was a really big project. And we knew Jim was going to be in Europe until the day before the event. And then subsequently, I learned that Robin has a wedding in Wisconsin or Minnesota or something. And Noelle is taking another one of her dream trips to Europe for 6 weeks. And so I kind of felt like our committee was dwindling, and you're all doing you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're living your lives. So no problem. It's just, I felt like it was too much for me to take on at that point. So we sort of switched focus. We brought Jim in for some advice on the gallery, and we're working with Nick Kahn, if any of you know him. He's an illustrator of a lot of experience and note. We're just waiting for his schedule to clear so that we can meet with him. He loves the idea of a poster. He's designed other posters. Even though we thought we would be working with Michael Aronson, and we still might. Nick is going to take a run at the graphics on the poster, which would be kind of cool. If he does that, he would do other graphic support as well, which would really benefit us. But he's a great artist. He's a great illustrator, and he's here in Napa. So we're excited, and he's thrilled. And so we're going to go forward on that basis. So other than that, Noelle, is there anything I missed?
I just want to reaffirm that he will be creating an original piece of artwork for us, as Guy Buffet did. We will not be using his existing artwork, it'll obviously be his style. And I think the way we are thinking about tying it, and we haven't had a chance to meet yet, but it will be Yountville centric, whatever the artwork is. So there'll be a connection to what we set up last year. Guy Buffet was all about joie de vivre. It's so about Yountville, and we feel it's really important to maintain that presence, and whatever artwork he creates, we'll have it connected back to town, whether it's artwork from the town, much like Guy's was, when you see all of Washington and Bouchon and the different shops we have, or whether it's one of the pieces from our art walk, possibly Chaos Pamplona. We don't know. We haven't decided yet at all. It's all up for grabs, but we know we'll come up with something that really makes a lot of sense and keeps it all connected. So we're really, really pleased about that. And there was so much work that had to go into creating the art walk show in the gallery. And I think it's a great idea. And I think we should still, as I believe you do, Rhonda, and Jim and Cindy, consider it for down the line another time, because our art walk is so important to us. But it was quite labor intensive, not just hanging, but creating exhibits, creating all the material for the gallery. And it was way too much work. And due to the timing of all our travels, it was all going to fall on Rhonda, particularly the gallery show. So it was a good move for all of us to make this change. And it will in no way be any less great than it has been.
How do you, I don't know him. How do you spell his name?
NickCann.
Oh,
and I think he's got a
That's what I
website.
thought. Okay,
He does, yeah.
cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah, extensive
sounds great.
website, so go through all the stuff.
Nice.
or touch on it anyway.
Do you think that they're going to be, so he'll be there for Art Sip and Stroll and then any other events that you think he'd be?
We haven't met with him, Cindy.
Oh, okay.
So I assume he will be willing to if he's here. I mean, he does travel. He also teaches a lot. He teaches art students individually. He also teaches through Nimbus.
Oh,
So somehow I envision that he would have something in the gallery where he's teaching probably children, but maybe not necessarily. And of course, through Jim, we have some literary possibilities, maybe with Marianne.
Yeah,
So
doing.
I think there will be some events, and he may have some ideas. He's a super guy, and he's real creative, and he's kind of like a little elf, and he's just an energizer. So we're looking forward to meeting him. His wife has had some health issues, and he's just trying to organize his business and make sure she's taken care of, and then we'll get together. I hope, if not this week, next week.
nice.
So we'll see.
Excellent.
But I think it'll be good.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so next is, I'll share my screen. You guys know the drill now. What's next?
What's
Is
next?
there a painting somewhere or an easel?
Stop.
Oh,
Oh, art walk.
Art walk. There we go.
Super, Cindy. Thank you. So we have two entries, which I think, Sam, are you able to put the mayor and the foal up?
Yeah, just 1 second. Let me
Okay.
pull
I'll
those
keep
up.
talking. These are pieces from Jack Chandler's estate. And those of us who've been around remember Rex. So the picture that originally came out in the agenda was an article that was written on Rex. Perfect. Thank you, Sam. But Sandy, Jack's wife, has held on to these pieces because they were so sentimental to her. But she really doesn't have sufficient space. And this picture was shot. Jack and Sandy had a beautiful home in Utah. So that's actually when they were in a corner of their grand living room. But don't be misled. I gave you the dimensions of them. They're pretty good sized, but they're reminiscent of Rex in character. They're grape stakes, metal grape stakes. And I think, Kim, you'd probably agree they're a little more abstract than Rex was. So you can see all the dimensions and so forth. We've walked it, and I think the only logical place, except Kim, you may have another thought, is Hopper Creek. And if we place them right, we will definitely have the mayor secured on the concrete pad that's there. And Miguel, who was Jack's assistant, is going to put a bar underneath the foal and 16-inch stakes that will go in to hold the foal. And we might even be able to get part of the foal onto the concrete pad. It's just hard to really work with the elements when we don't have them right there. So that's something that will work out with the estate. The estate is very enthusiastic about presenting these two to us and letting us have them for 2 years. There's a question about the fence, like a corral in front of them. And I think we would all prefer not. However, I don't know, Sam, you and Steve might want to consider whether that's feasible in terms of safety. We wouldn't want anybody to jump on the mare and hurt themselves. So in talking to Julie, who's Jack's executor, they're willing to do whatever we approve. But she suggested maybe a rope with, big, heavy posts, and then like a horse's or rodeo rope in between used and so forth. that would serve as a barrier so that people would know they're not supposed to go in there. Anything you do, someone, if they wanted to, could get in, if you want to see if you want to see them anyway. But I think if we take the right precautions, that they'll be safe. So if you have any other questions.
My comments would be, when we had Rex, it was, and I don't know if he created these recently. He hasn't done horses in a long time. So my suspicion would be they were kind of done about the same time.
I suspect.
Rex was very flimsy. If you pushed on it, it went this way and that way. And people would put their children on him, even though it's covered with sharp, rusty metal. And we did put just across the front and down the sides of Rex a little bit of fence to keep people out. It didn't enclose it completely, but it didn't stop them from putting their children on this metal horse. So that's what I would be concerned about.
Okay.
We can always post something there, but people are, I mean, I see them still with every sculpture. People do what they're going to do. We would just put a fair warning, out that is warning them. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we would never want the sculpture to be damaged either. So if it was not sure if it's more stable than Rex.
150. I don't know. I don't remember what Rex weighed, but the mare weighs 150 pounds and the foal weighs 100. They're not super heavy.
Yeah.
No, but that kind of shows that they're not, you can tell, I think the mare looks even lighter constructed than Rex was. And I love the abstractness of the head, but that just worries me.
And any other comments or thoughts?
I think it's going, I love the pieces, and I do understand the concerns, and if we could find a way to address those concerns, it would just be so wonderful to have these. And I think over at Hopper Creek is such a perfect place for them. It's like they were made for that space. And I think then we'd pretty much have that space filled up. We wouldn't be putting anything else there, I would imagine. But regardless, we do have to make sure it's safe and signage and all of that. But it's beautiful.
I mean, our signage is always the same, and people ignore it the same way that they always have, and it's going to be in the same place that Rex was, unfortunately. But I think we will. I'm sure that the Chandler folks also realize that it's going to be in a public place, and we can advise people certainly not to put their children on things. That's about it.
And I can certainly talk to Julie about this, Kim.
Give her a heads up.
Yeah, she's sort of, I don't know how to say it. She's willing to do whatever we want, and sees this as another legacy piece of Jack's, and Jack being attached to Yountville. She'd really like to help us get this done. And Miguel, maybe he can add some bulk or a little more weight to them. I just have to talk to her about it.
Is it in Napa? Is it around so that somebody could go look at it?
Yeah, I saw the mare. The mare is at Miguel's studio.
Okay.
And the foal is on Sandy's property. I haven't seen the foal.
Can I ask a question? I assume this has not been in a public place before?
I can't answer that, Jim. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
So is there,
Well, let's move on and talk about vines.
Well, are we gonna?
We have to make a
Oh, I'm
decision
sorry.
on,
Yeah.
I'm s-
yeah.
That's a good idea. So we need a motion to accept Mara and Fool by artist Jack Chandler, offered by his estate. So I'll make that motion that we accept it.
And I'll second it.
Yeah, and can we obviously say that this is certainly pending the safety for everything?
Yeah.
Not just arbitrarily saying we're putting it in there. I know it's a piece we all love and would love to see there, but certainly we are going to make sure it's in the best interest of the piece of art and the public and everyone involved.
So it would be, and it's Cindy's motion, but just so I understand, there's a motion to approve. We're going to return it to the subcommittee to make sure that all the safety precautions are taken.
Right. Yeah, that's at the subcommittee level, I would think.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead and vote, Sam. You're muted, I think.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a motion from Cindy and a second from Jim. Commissioner Resnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Share,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
I will abstain.
Vice Chair McDonald,
Yes.
and Chair Caption.
Yes.
All right, that passes.
Okay, now we go to vines.
Correct.
Clear that one.
There was a subsequent email that went to you, Sam, that updated the one that you sent. But I can fill you in.
Okay, I'm sorry if I missed that.
That's not it.
So this sculpture's not it?
No, what you're showing is not it, at least what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm not sharing anything.
I don't see anything.
Can you share the screenshot?
There we are.
Okay.
This isn't it?
Yep. I've got it.
I have an aquarium.
Oh,
Oh wait, here they are. Okay, never mind. Okay, so the actual name of the sculpture is Dancing Butterflies. It's by Peter Hazel. As you know, we have the can't think of the name. He's changed it a few times. The fish sculpture in Vandeleur Park, and we had the basket of fruit that was at the end of Hurley's property. So this is a piece that in the studio. This piece that we're picturing was actually a piece that went to Florida. And I saw it and I called him about it and asked him if he would do a piece for us. And he said that he would, which I thought was great. And subsequently he sent the drawing of it, of what he will do for us, which is somewhat different than the one in Florida. In your paperwork, the dimensions are not correct. Actually, the piece is 5 feet wide by 10 to 14 feet high. So I think what he said originally was 5 by 5, and I questioned it because it didn't seem to fit proportions of the original sculpture. So he came back and said, no, that wasn't right. So it's actually a pretty good tall piece. And I also questioned him about people being able to reach the butterflies. They're glass, a pretty heavy glass, but and vines and so forth. And the bottom of the first butterfly will be at 6.5 feet. So that's pretty tall. The vines could conceivably, I do the same thing, Cindy. The vines could conceivably be, not the vines themselves, but a leaf could be bent or whatever if somebody reached it and then just bent back. And Peter's pretty good about if something does happen, coming out and fixing it. So anyway, what else was different? I think that's it. I looked at our pad schedule as to where the piece might go. It could go in front of B Marketplace if that was available, where Richard Silver's piece was. But we haven't, well, since we don't have contact with them, that's probably not real likely. It could go in front of Bartisono at the entry, but we haven't really had the use of that pad in a while. And it could go as you enter Vandeleur Park on the right-hand side where Liberation was. And I walked it off, I looked at it. There's certainly a 5-foot clearance. We might want to just, because, cut a couple of the small branches off the tree, but it's not, we don't have to worry about the height there. It's in a really nice kind of bushy environment. And the pad is, I think, 4x4 there. And the base of the sculpture is 24x24. So the only other thing I'll add is if we do decide to approve it, his studio is in Reno. We're going to be up there over the holidays. And he invited me to come by and see what his progress is and look at maybe some of the models that he had done for the first sculpture. So that's kind of where it is. If you have any questions.
Now, had you at one point thought about the chamber?
I had when I thought it was 5x5, yes. But if it gets up to 14 feet, I just think in that location, it's too tall.
Okay. Well, then one of the alternatives, the entry to Vandeleur, I mean, to have butterflies near a little park like that doesn't seem inappropriate.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think it'd be a good fit for Vandeleur. And it's right next to his other sculpture, or not, across the path from his other sculpture, which
They'd probably talk to each other.
yeah. I was kind of hoping actually that we could separate them if there was the other end, but and that was where the chamber came into play. But Vandeleur is just such a pretty setting for them. Hopper Creek, I think they'd be hitting the trees. So Vandeleur seemed like the logical place for it.
I think it's a beautiful location because it is so tall, and it'll be around landscaping in the background. So in the tall stemmy parts, they'll have landscaping that you see through to, and then the butterflies. To me, it's just perfect to have that in the park. And I agree. It's unfortunate we couldn't have it in front of the chamber, but it is just, by the time you put it on whatever that object is that has the pad on it, it would be so high in the sky, it would not look proper, and it would not do it justice. But I think it's just a gorgeous piece, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Okay, well, should we vote on, anybody want to make a motion to accept Vines by Peter Hazel for the art walk? And sounds like we all agree about putting it in Vandeleur Park.
I motion to accept this beautiful new piece of art for Vandeleur Park.
Great, thanks, Noelle. A second?
I'll second again.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Okay, let's vote.
All right. Commissioner Scher,
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Cook,
I will abstain.
Vice Chair McDonald,
Yes.
and Chair Caption.
Yes.
Is it, before we move on, Kim, what is your hesitation?
To me, it doesn't meet the standards that we've set. To me, it's more ornamental looking than fine art. I think that's a good location if you're going to put it somewhere, but those are just my thoughts.
Okay.
Good. Okay, so anything else about the art walk?
Just quickly, Ivan's gonna install the yellow sphere on Wednesday at 9 o'clock, if anybody's interested. And
This Wednesday?
mhm,
Wow.
Yes.
and
So it happens when I did my own recon for some sort of equipment and I was like, I found one. So
the SkyTrack, is that what you mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
we couldn't
that's
get one and
amazing,
then
Sam.
I found one. So I'm gonna pound it.
Nice.
Awesome.
Great. Okay,
Okay.
so let's move on. I got something for you, Jim.
Okay, please. What? Oh, oh,
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
This. Oh, nope, that's literary.
Oh,
That,
oh, there we go.
gallery.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to be very brief on this. We have a couple of things in the works, but I don't need to get into those now. First, the exhibit that we just had, the Kinetic Brad Holmes exhibit. I believe the final count was 4 sales. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's great. And we currently have the youth art show up. And actually, I guess it's kind of literary, but we do have a group of writers and poets and people coming on Saturday to write poems about some of the pieces in the current exhibit. That'll be 2 to 4 on Saturday with Marianne Lyon. And then Sam Chapman's exhibit called Paintings from Monet's Garden will open. The reception will be January 13th from 5:30 to 7 in the gallery. And I think that's all Cindy, Rhonda, do you want to say anything else?
You got it, Jim.
Yeah,
Okay.
nothing.
Okay, thank you. So that's it, unless anybody has any questions.
Yeah. Nope.
So is there another image coming on the screen?
There is. There is. I snuck into your house and
Wait.
I took a photo of your
Are
eyeglasses.
those my glasses?
And your yellow highlighter.
With a yellow highlighter and a book.
How did she do? How did she do it?
Very cute.
I don't really have anything new for literary since our book event in July and Yountville Out Loud, which will be next September, are kind of off in the distance. But thank you. Unless anybody has any questions about literary. So that's it.
I gotta say, those glasses look amazingly like your glasses.
They do.
They really do. Okay, next. We should just do. I don't think. Sam, do you want to say anything about performing arts?
Oh, is that not on here?
No, it didn't make it.
Oh, dang it. I need to add it back on.
Oh, there we go. That's great.
So in Robin's absence, we had a great meeting last week, her and I and Cindy, just to talk about how we're going to move forward. So we're going to start working on a call for artists, for musicians, that would apply to Art Sip and Stroll, as well as the Music in the Park series. So I'm really excited to have Robin on board for that. And she has some other really great ideas about trying to integrate music maybe into some of our art openings when it's appropriate outside and things like that. So I'm excited to be working with her. More to come on that. And I will make sure and add that back to the agenda. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. We won't forget Robin and all
No.
that. Are there any informational reports that you have other than?
I just wanted to share that the council did interview 2 candidates for the open position with Kim's retirement as of tonight. And so they are appointing tomorrow at their council meeting, Jeffrey Lay. So we're excited to welcome him. He knows, he received an email today from Eddie and myself. So he is accepted, and they'll formally approve that at tomorrow's meeting. And then Cindy and I will reach out to him to get him all up to speed before our next meeting.
Great.
Well,
And oh, isn't somebody getting a proclamation?
And yeah, just a reminder, tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, probably right around 3:05, I believe, Kim will be acknowledged. So if you're able to tune in, that would be lovely.
At 3:05.
To be there.
3:05, the meeting starts at 3, so
Yeah,
right around the beginning.
I
right.
do have a few words to say, if that's okay with everybody. I'm not going to say goodbye because I'm not going anywhere, but I do just want to say thank you. Thank you to my fellow commissioners. Thank you all for taking on the Arts Commission. It's a big responsibility to carry, but one with wonderful and positive effects on the town we all love. Thank you to the residents of Yountville. Thank you for your never-ending support of our efforts and participation in our events. I'm sure in the beginning, 13 years ago, you sometimes wondered about some of our choices, but I think you can now see where we were headed, just to bring joy and art and such to town. To all the staff members, thank you. The staff members who physically supported our projects, the public works people and things that carry out our plans, no matter how weird or difficult the asks are. You guys are always there to make it happen. And then especially Samantha. Sam, you are the glue in this project. You are the one that makes it all possible. You always say yes. You always make all of our far-fetched dreams come true. And I will never be able to thank you enough for everything for all these years. So carry on. I'm proud of what we've created and excited to see what you will all bring to Yountville in the future. I think this is the most impressive group of commissioners that we have ever had. So have fun.
Right.
And
Thank
Kim, you're amazing.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
thank
Kim.
you. Thank you
I have a
all.
few. I have a few words as well. I made my.
Is there a slide? Oh, yeah.
There's a slide. There's a
There's a slide. I love it.
See,
love
I
it.
made this. First, I made this font like super big, but then I thought, they're probably going to be able to read that if I make it big. So this is thank you to Kim Cook, and I just wanted, since we're all official here and being recorded and all that stuff, I wanted to acknowledge that this is Kim's last meeting as an arts commissioner. Kim, you have been an inspirational leader. As one of the original members of the art committee and original members of the Arts Commission, you have just served so many years as a commissioner, as years as vice chair and chair of the committee, that it's just been, really amazing to see your dedication and your hard work. When I have an image of you, basically, I just think of you standing on a corner.
Up in
Your
here.
empty pad in the cold, sometimes with your husband there, but as I'm driving off to go somewhere in my nice warm car, it's like, there's Kim standing on the corner doing her thing. But honestly, I think mostly I want to say that you are a real visionary and a champion of the arts. And I just want to thank you for making Yountville a more artful place for all of us, and personally an inspiration to for me, and I'm sure the other folks on the commission. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. I appreciate it.
Kim, you've held us together for all these years. And when you called me that day and said sent me a text, could we talk? I thought, oh, she must have gotten a sculpture in, or oh, whatever. and the first thing she says is, I'm going to leave the art commission. And I'm like, what? Because you have been inspirational to all of us. You carried the commission at the onset when I had resigned, the two Robs had resigned, Judith had resigned, and there's Kim, last man standing. And you always seemed unquestioning of that and just go forward. And that's really true leadership, and to pull us through that time. Because now, as you say, look at what we've got. The only thing we won't have is you, and we'll miss you. And I hope you don't mind if periodically I call and consult you.
Absolutely not. I'm still going to watch the meetings.
And as I was saying before, Kim, it's been such a pleasure to serve with you and to get to know you. And you have set the bar so high, and we so appreciate your thoughts of it being a great commission now. And that's because we have to maintain that quality, and we have to keep pushing, and we have to continue on with everything you have worked so hard to establish. And I'm sure with all our hearts and all our efforts and our minds and our souls, we will be doing everything we can to maintain the beauty and the integrity for the town and for each other. And thank you so much. And as you know, we always say you can run, but you can't hide. We know where you live.
No, I can't. Yes, you do.
Yeah. And I have two things I want to point out. Number one, I have so much respect for how Kim presented some of our projects before the town council. I think at one point she said, I'm not a very public person, but you certainly became a very public person in your presentation. And number two, speaking about bad weather, I have a memory of Dale Rieger next to Bouchon Bakery in the rain, installing.
Yeah, you were right there.
Yeah,
you were right
installing,
there with soaking tennis shoes with me. Yep.
Yeah, installing one of the light towers, and
yes.
And he seemed kind of scantily dressed for that weather, and he said, "Oh, I'm from Seattle area. I'm used to the rain." But I always appreciated hearing about an installation and trying to be there, because I always learned something more when I got to talk to the sculptor. So
yeah.
That's a fond memory of hanging out with you along Washington Street at different points. So thank you,
yes.
Kim.
Artists are an interesting bunch. It's always good to talk to them.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, I think on that note, I now will go back to work. I'm so glad
Have fun.
to share all the wonderful thoughts with Kim, and we will all see each other in a couple nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will.
Thanks.
See you.
See you
Thanks
soon.
for tuning in.
Thanks,
Bye
Noel.
now.
Okay.
Well, I think all that's left is, whoops, this one.
Your
Yeah.
final call.
The end.
And that's okay. Anybody want to adjourn the meeting?
Can I just I'm just going to do a plug for the museum for the Dangerous Games exhibition. Have any of you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
It's a riot. I mean, it's really a fun exhibition.
Yeah.
I didn't know, although Laura does great exhibitions, she does fabulous exhibitions. It didn't sound really appealing to me, but I went in with a girlfriend, and you remember all of these things. And just about the time you say, Oh, did you ever have you turn a corner and there it is? Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it's
I'll have
very,
to go.
very fun. So if you haven't gone, please go see it. It's a great exhibition.
What's the deadline? When's it close?
I think in early February.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Super.
It's fun. Excellent. All right. So, do we vote to adjourn the meeting? Or-
No,
You just wave.
you call it.
Wave. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you all, and I'll see you in a couple days.
You bet.
Thank you.
Morning or
See
night.
you there. Thank
Okay.
you.
Night.
Good night.
Right.